looking in at the catcher and feeling like I was pitching from center field and kind of wondering, like, what the heck am I doing here? And then when you get that first out.
So the Allen gets his first K, and that's out number 2.
Kind of takes the pressure off, and you feel like you can just go play the game.
The first game, I was standing out there. So just noticed all the fans, how big everything was, and it was loud, and it just felt fast. I was a little nervous till I got my first ground ball, and I managed to throw the guy out, and I was like, okay, I've done this before a couple times, so. But it's still always special when I look back and see, like, all I had to go through to make it here.
First year I was in the big leagues, I knew, that I'd made it.
And this one's gone! Jonathan Lucroy, what more can he do for you?
That's when it really kind of hits you like, man, I got here, I made it.
I won't ever forget walking up to the plate my first at bat and like, here it is, everything I've ever been waiting for and dreamed about. I'm about to have my first big league at bat. Then I struck out, and then my next at bat, I hit a double and slid into second. It was just like, I can do this.
First thought I was a Major League Baseball player. I think the play in Baltimore when I caught that one over the fence.
Leaps up, and he makes the catch!
I think that was probably the biggest play. Felt like, hey, this is where I belong, in the big league.
Today, new moments are about to unfold as the 2019 season starts. Now.
We welcome you to Angels Live from the Coliseum here in Oakland. As the Angels begin their 59th season, it is opening day all over baseball. What a special day for all of us on a journey that began back at the Big A and the team making the transition in that journey all the way here to the Bay Area. Well, we know one thing, the Angels for sure have a set of new members, guys coming back. And it doesn't matter how established you are, Mark Cerny, this is always special to make this journey here.
There's no better day than opening day, Jose, when you think about the excitement for the team, the players, knowing they have a chance to do something special this season in 2019. It all starts here today. And when you get that chance and being able to get that thrill, that feeling of opening day, the names being announced, go out there and play, but the guys coming to the stadium today, we're super excited, and they're ready to rock and roll this season.
And again, to all of you, congratulations and welcome to Angels Live. Jose Mora and Mark Gubas are with you. It doesn't matter when it is. It doesn't matter where you've been. And for sure, this has become almost like a national holiday and international celebration, Mark, as the Angels and Major League Baseball celebrate opening day. But going back to the days of Little League and the new uni and mom and dad taking care of you, how does this connect all to the big league?
Well, again, this is a game played by kids. I mean, that's the thing. At the major league level, you still feel like you're kids, especially on a day like today, opening day, where you feel, hey, this could be the year you win the World Series. Boston felt that last year. They won the World Series. The Angels feel that this way this season. As a kid, you did. As a player, you did. You know how that felt like as a player, too. I'll never forget that first opening day where you walk out in the field, they announce your name, you're thinking, you know what? I made it here. I cannot believe the feeling it is to be in that major league roster and walk out in that field and play opening day.
And hoping the Angels had a very exciting 2019 season, trying to get back to the playoffs and beyond that. Certainly always the goal of a championship here in Major League Baseball. But as we mentioned, it doesn't matter how old they are, how long they've been in the big leagues. It's all about the special day of taking the field here today. We had a chance to talk to some players about their reaction on this very special day in baseball.
There's not quite a feel like it in the world. Just being able to arrive that first day and knowing that baseball's back, man, and be able to get on the field and play baseball again. It's just a special feeling.
You're anxious, you're excited. I wouldn't say nervous, but your adrenaline's running. Obviously, the flyover and everything, and all the things before the game. It's pretty cool. It's something special to be a part of, and I'm happy to be here.
We're excited. I mean, everybody here, I think we all like all the guys that are around us, and this is going to be a big year, and we're just really excited for opening day and kind of get this thing underway.
You get a different energy. You get a little excited. You get a little nervous, but
I had a chance to pitch an opening day a couple years ago, and it's just a different energy.
I think we're all excited just to get these games to actually mean something, and get the feeling of the ones that count. Under the first one, get the first one under your belt, and kind of settle in and go from there.
It's just been a special day for me. I'm glad that God gave me the opportunity to have another opening day, and that's why we prepare for in the offseason and the spring training. So I'm very excited about today.
Just the camaraderie, we've been in spring training for a month and a half now, and I think we're chomping at the bit to face, somebody in a real game.
Well, we know one thing too, is always, you hear the voices of those players, like little kids talking about this day like today. But Mark, we also know that there's some changes. There's a lot of teammates that were here last season when this ended, and they're not here today. But let's take a look at the Angels position players and the additions brought in here by Billy Epler and Brad Austin.
When you look at some of the key ones for me, it's that catching position, Jonathan Lucroy, Kevin Smith in there. Infield, you got Albert Pujols going to be there. David Fletcher making his first opening day start. You got Anderson Simmons, the all-time great there at shortstop. Zach Kozar back healthy. Justin Bour in that power. He knows what it means to be in those key games playing with the Chicago Cubs coming over. Mike Trout. That's all we got to say. Cole Calhoun. Peter Borges back wearing that uniform. Brian Goodwin now just came over in a trade. The Kansas City Royals. He's part of this opening day roster. So there's some serious depth in that in the everyday lineup and the bench for the Angels now to be able to score some runs and certainly catch the baseball.
And the injured list, obviously Shohei Ohtani rehabbing from his elbow surgery, and Justin Upton with that big left toe that suffered in the exhibition series, freeway series against the Dodgers here recently. Keep in mind, Goodwin, a veteran, over 170 games in the big leagues, 250 average. He has a lot of depth here, and late addition with also somebody named Chris Stratton going to that rotation.
And Justin Upton not being available here early on. But, thing about Goodwin, though, he's got some power a couple of years ago, 13 home runs for the Nationals. So he's got good power and pretty good speed, too. So some depth in the outfield here early on. Who knows how much changes we'll see during the course of the season, but keep this team healthy, especially on the position player-wise, should be strong.
Well, Mark, as always said by managers, we're going to ride the wave of the starting rotation, and this is the way it looked for the Angels, at least beginning here in this series.
Well, you got Trevor Kale is going to be pitching here today, open day. Not hard, but he's throwing the ball so well. We saw him a lot in spring training. Felix Pena deserves to be in this rotation. He's throwing the ball well. 9 punch-outs against the Dodgers in that freeway series in 3 1/3. Tyler Skaggs says he feels great. Can't wait for that start on Sunday. And Chris Stratton, coming over 10-game winner for the Giants, is going to be getting that start up in Seattle. So some depth. And we talked about it before in the last few days, the depth you have as far as down in the minor leagues, too. Jaime Barria be one of those, too, who probably most staff see be in the big leagues right now, but for the time being, be down in the minor leagues.
Well, manager Brad Austin made it very clear. Certainly you need more than 5 guys, and we know it's happened out throughout baseball. So looking now at the guys that Billy Epler really went out there and targeted as guys that can miss some bats.
Yeah.
That's the Angels bullpen.
Big swing and miss rates, a lot of power arms out of that bullpen. Every one of them, pretty much. When you look at these guys in the bullpen, it starts with Cody Allen. Finally, you have that bona fide closer. He's been very consistent throughout his career. Everyone throws that fastball. Mid to upper 90s, can even touch 100. Secondary pitches, that's the thing, the difference maker. Have that ability to be able to spin or break a ball, a slider, or even a splitter to get a swing and miss. Translation, too, to Luke Farr to be able to be part of this rotation down there in the bullpen right now. Big moment for him, his first time in the big leagues on opening day.
A lot of versatility out there, too. So after 19 years, the same voice, same presence. There is a new voice, new presence, new manager here for the Angels. So the Mike Scioscia era, the most successful manager franchise history is gone. Here comes Brad Austin, so brings great credentials himself as a player.
A very good catcher, knows what he's doing. He's been successful as a manager, too.
And Brad Austin's already experienced in Detroit. Had a chance to catch up with him and talk to him in spring training. Here's Brad.
What has changed the most since you got that call in Detroit and you got the call with the Angels in terms of structuring an organization?
Experience. That's the one thing that plays into it. Experience. It's an added benefit with the Angels because I have relationships over the past year with a lot of the guys in that clubhouse. I've had conversation with Trouty or Justin Upton, who I had in Detroit, Albert Pujols. These are guys that I know on some level, which makes it easier. When I walked into Detroit's clubhouse spring training, I had met a handful of them, but didn't really have a previous relationship with them. So I think there's a comfort level of them with me and me with them, which is, gives you an extra leg up.
Implementing data analytics, sabermetrics, players are buying into this. They understand it better. How important is it that all this information given to them is simplified to say this applies to you, but perhaps it doesn't apply to somebody else?
Well, it is. It's all individually based. It's in the past, pre-analytics, I think there was a lot of broad-based concepts that you passed on with some individualized teaching here or development here and there. But now it's highly specific, and it's to that individual. And you don't take a bunch of numbers and throw it at them. And this is part of the job of a manager, coaching staff, pitching coach, hitting coach, is to take those numbers and put them into baseball speak. You're translators of a sort. You got to be able to understand what these numbers mean, but then you got to be able to stand in a bullpen with a pitcher and explain it to them baseball level.
What about keeping the game fun?
I think baseball's called America's pastime. I think baseball's pastime is making fun of each other, and that's part of that camaraderie. I think players and coaches and the length of the season, it's poking fun at each other that really shortens the days. So it's something I do. Something I've always done, but it's also I enjoy it when it's coming back at me as well. It makes the days shorter, and it makes that 6-month season shorter, and it just makes it more fun to come to the and engage with the other people.
Fun and camaraderie and chemistry. Things that, with all the data we have, are still important to you?
For sure, yeah. Ultimately, talent is the trump card. If you have 9 Mike Trouts, you're going to be good. But I think the makeup of the team, the non-physical makeup of the team, I guess you would call chemistry, plays a big part. It's when people are having fun or happy to come to work, then I think they perform better.
I'll tell you what, Jose, I've known Brad for a long time as a player. Remember him as a manager for the Tigers. I remember the first day when he was announced as a manager for the Angels, how exciting was it? I love that he said, I'd love to have nine Mike Trouts. I think every team would love to have 9 Mike Trouts, but the embracement of the analytics and the data, that was a good job you did, Jose, asking those questions. He's really gotten to the point where he knows what can help each individual player. That's the important thing. Everyone's different, and he knows that ability to be able to do so, as gaining that experience as a manager for the Tigers is going to help him here with the Angels.
Well, let's welcome in Victor Rojas, beginning his 10th season next to Mark Gubicza. We feel for you. It's been great, by the way, Victor. But welcome, and certainly great to see you again after so much in spring training for us, and certainly you watching and having your input there, too. How special is this for you, knowing that, of course, both of us share something very unique with our parents?
It's always very unique, and really from an experience standpoint, not many people get the chance to experience it. Those that grew up in the game of baseball, just like you did, Jose, and sons of former major leaguers. But anytime opening day kind of rolls around, you're excited about it. It's amazing that this is already the 10th season coming up, calling Angels baseball. I remember being a young whippersnapper when I came over from MLB Network many moons ago, and now I feel like an old man with having to deal with Gooby every single day for 9 years. So I can't wait to age even more so as it progresses. But I think you guys hit it on the head when we started the show, is that there's always excitement, right? This is the day that everyone thinks that their team is going to win the World Series, and it's the way it should be. I mean, because there is hope for every season that your team is the one that's going to go the distance. So hopefully the Angels do that. It's certainly a different feel, different look, a lot of new faces up and down the roster and on the coaching staff, and the hope is that spring training that Brad Ausmus put together and Josh Paul, his bench coach, able to gel those guys together, and they just hit the ground running, much like the Angels did last year. They had a good run here in those four games, taking 3 of 4, and then starting off at 13-3. Just got to maintain it and maintain that health as well.
You feel old? I'm a grandpa now, Vic.
Yeah, I know. Congratulations, by the way.
How about newcomers? I know every year we say there's the guys that were identified to come out here and help this ball club. How do you feel about the guys that are newcomers here to the ball club?
I don't know if there's any one particular guy you could sit there and say, I'm looking forward to seeing this guy perform, because you want them all to perform. They need to. The unique thing that Billy Eppler did is that he signed a lot of these guys to 1-year deals. Trevor Cahill, Matt Harvey, Cody Allen, Jonathan Lucroy, Justin Bohr coming over as well. These are the type of things that you just hope that these guys have career-type years. They need to put it all together. They all have something to Trevor Cale had a fantastic run last year with the Oakland Athletics, and he parlayed into a one-year deal with the Angels. Matt Harvey finished off strong with Cincinnati, had a terrific spring. You hope that carries over. So you need all of that. But as we sit here today, as we've sat here the last several seasons for this Angels ball club, unfortunately, it's all about health. If guys can stay healthy, you can compete and kind of throughout the course of the 6-month season, you give yourself an opportunity to win games. So if the guys can stay healthy, especially in that rotation, I think a huge boost for this ball club. The other thing, too, that I'm sure we'll talk about many, many times throughout the course of the season, we finally have some depth that you could look down at the minor league level, especially at AAA, and say that there are some legit guys on the cusp of getting to the big leagues.
By the way, Victor, you never look better. You look much better now than you did 10 years ago.
I don't know about that.
I figured I'd throw that one out there.
Yeah, it's because you're not sitting here. That's why. I'm sitting by myself.
So, speaking of new additions to coaching staff, what do you which coaches do you think really will have the biggest impact? Because hitting coaches, you have new pitching coach, all throughout here as far as the coaching staff. There's a couple guys that are really going to be big as far as how successful this team is going to end up being.
I'm interested to see how Doug White and his philosophy, I know he doesn't talk about a particular philosophy, but how it all comes together for the pitching staff. But from a mechanic standpoint, from a psychological standpoint, look, a lot of these guys, yeah, they're new names for the base, but a lot of these guys were a part of this franchise. Josh Paul was the bench coach. Paul Sorrento was here as a hitting coach. Mike Gallego ran the farm system. Wooten and Reed were in the minor leagues as hitting guys. So they're not new to the organization, and guys have been around them. So that's the one thing you can look at from a transition standpoint, that it makes it a little bit smoother. Plus, having spent 6 to 8 weeks together down in Tempe and kind of figuring things out. So Doug White really is the one that stands out for me, but we'll see how everyone impacts this ball club, because I think they will all have a huge, huge impact.
Thanks, Victor. How about another 10 years times 3 perhaps, and we should all just age gracefully.
Posey, I'm always ready to sign that contract, big man.
Thanks, Victor. Have a great call. Have a great season.
See you in a few minutes.
When we come back here on Angels Live, how about the best player in the game being the face of the game? And now he's an Angel from Live, and we're going to recall what a great day it was for the franchise, for the fans, and for all of us to presence this a few days ago.
Running to Hogwarts, running to Hogwarts.
Come join us at Universal Studios Hollywood and get our California Neighbor Pass with over 175 days for $149 online.
The Southern California Chevy Dealers Road Trip. Ajay Kopitar and the LA Kings conclude their Western Canadian road as they venture to Vancouver for a clash with the Canucks. What called their favorite Elias Pettersson looks to push the pace as Vancouver tries to take down the visitors from LA. Coverage starts tonight at 6:30 on Fox Sports West, part of the Southern California Chevy Dealers Road Trip. Chevrolet, find new roads.
Visit your Jaguar retailer during the Impeccable Timing sales event.
If you or a loved one have been injured in an auto accident, you need a professional on your side who'll make sure you get every penny you're entitled to.
That's what we do. The law offices of Larry Parker has been protecting the rights of automobile accident victims for more than 35 years.
We've been successful in 95% of our cases.
And we've recovered more than $2 billion for our clients.
That's why we've been the #1 accident law firm in Southern California for decades.
We'll fight for you.
Hablamos español.
Little baseball.
The relationships I've built here, the people I've met, the ownership, top to bottom, they've been great to me. Stairs, I'll take stairs. All the guys are up. Everyone's up. There they are. There they are. What's up, Beanie? How are you? What's up, Russ?
Hey there.
How are you? Dave? How are you?
Ready?
Does she have to speak already or what? Oh, you got to speak. Yeah, you got to speak. Yeah, a little bit. What's up, guys? I love you guys. Thanks for all the support. I'm losing it.
Yeah, we're good. I love you.
What do you say about him? Tio, get down.
Theo right here. But
Ty, get down in front, and then I'll sit here. You guys be next to me, and then have Jess's family over here. Yeah, it was great. They were giving me some tips on what to say in the speech. And Nicole was, hey man, you got that speech ready the whole day, just blasting me, and it's special. We're a family here. Awesome. What's up, guys? He's good. He's with us.
That is absolutely so cool. All throughout this season, we'll have so much inside and behind the scenes from the Angels and superstars, from management, the coaches. Angels Weekly coming up soon after the opener against the Rangers at home. Well, we know one thing, Mark Guzas, welcome you back here to the Coliseum. One thing about Mike Trout is, when it comes down to opening day, he puts on a show.
He's always done something special. When you look back at his career, 2014-15, home runs on opening day, that first at bat, it did so in 2017, and he did it against some pretty good pitchers. When you think about opening day, you're facing the very best from that opponent, and he's still been able to go deep. So many special things that Trouty's been able to do. Expect something amazing again today. Every day you see that smile. He even walked around in batting practice today, going and talking to him. He's ready to do something special. I expect that even in the first inning.
We use the word cool so much when it comes down to Mike Trout. Mark, how cool is it to look this way and look at his parents?
Yeah.
Like little league parents watching them. It's so cool right now.
And they're there waving down at us and stuff. They're enjoying some food here at the stadium, ready to watch their son. He's going to be wearing the uniform for the next 12 seasons.
So tell me, as we have told the world throughout his seasons, why this guy is the best in the game.
I think because he tries to get better every single day. It's starting with all the information and talking to Torrey Hunter, then Pujols, and even Albert Soundbite when he talked about that whole extension. He said every day he's trying to do something different, trying to get better, whether it's not chasing a pitch out of the strike zone, being quicker on the ball inside, playing better defensively. Remember, people were criticizing about his defensive skills, stealing bases, doing the things, setting the table, driving in runs, helping a team win any way possible. 7 outfield assists last season, no errors. He's his best seasons ever as a defensive player.
Well, we know one thing. Every time we start building a graphic on Mike Trout, it's like, where do we start and where do we end? But certainly, Mark, this is all special. New age or old age stats, they all apply to him in a grand way.
OPS, on-base percentage, the walks, the numbers are absolutely incredible when you think about every single season. He's at least going to be the MVP or the runner-up. 6 of 7, he's been able to do that, which is unreal.
Well, it's always special to sit down with the best player in the game and hear his thoughts, of course, about the season and more. Brad Ausmus recently said, and I remember Joe Torre saying the same thing about Jeter, but he goes, Mike Trout doesn't need to be managed. How much of a compliment is that for you?
A lot of people, been coming up to me, what Brad can do to help me. I'm always up to trying to learn and get better. Obviously I go out there and play hard 100%, but, not only just Brad, if other coaches, in the cage or, the outfield, if they see something, I want to know, I want to get better, I want to learn. And, it's obviously it makes you feel good when your manager says that.
Not many people can relate to the waiting of every year because of what you've accomplished on the field. What is it like a morning, afternoon, or days leading to announcements being made as to if you're going to win something or not? What is that like for you?
It means a lot. I don't look into it too much. I appreciate this game so much. I don't take it for granted. I see when you're compared to, Hall of Fame guys and guys, the all-time greats that's been, through this, and, it's pretty special.
Do you realize the impact you are having on this generation and the ones coming up?
Yeah, definitely. I think, growing up, with Jeter, I saw the impact that he presented and he had for younger kids. And, I want to go and be like him. I think the way he handled himself on and off the field, I think that's the way you got to handle yourself. And, I looked up to that when I was a kid, and, I'm trying to do the same thing for kids nowadays that are looking up to me.
Praying freely, how natural is that for you to just stay in the moment?
It's natural, man. I love being in the moment. Obviously, I love this game. Like I said, I don't take this for granted. A lot of guys would want to be in my situation just to be in a major league clubhouse. And, I think that's the biggest reason. I just want to compete.
Well, Mark, going back to our day in spring training when the announcement was first put out, and certainly we know what was coming about the special day over in Anaheim, but what a privilege, what an honor to say this guy is an Angel for life because of the extension by the Angels and the effort being put by ownership.
Yeah, I think when this some of the things that Mike Trout said he compared and loved to see what Derek Jeter did, not only for the organization, being in those moments and also connecting with young fans. Derek Jeter is a perfect role model for Mike Trout. He's always idolized him, and to be able to be in that All-Star game together and have those conversations over the years has made Trout even better in connecting with fans, but above all, wanting to be in those special moments.
Well, the pay model has changed here throughout baseball, and ownership is finding a way to go out there and take care of these star players and get them paid in their prime years, starting with Nolan Arenado.
And you love to see it, especially when the guys were drafted and brought and staying there basically the whole career. Alex Bregman has been incredible for the Astros, and then all of a sudden you see a lot more pitchers getting these long-term extensions. I think it's the right decisions for the players. Sometimes they'll say, well, why didn't you wait till free agency? No. You want to make sure if you're happy with the place, stay there and go out there and perform. You don't have to answer those questions anymore. I think that's a big thing you take from Mike Trout. He doesn't have to answer those questions anymore. What's going to happen in the next couple of years? We don't have to talk about that for 12 years to 2030 for Mike Trout.
It is opening day. It is a celebration nationally for the Angels fan base, always. And Big Colt led by number 27. As Mark talked about free agents, and the Angels dipped their toes into that and brought a couple of guys with a lot of character, great history, and great clubhouse presence. We'll visit with them here soon.
Whose idea was this?
Help! I need somebody help, not just anybody help. I need someone.
When life makes you uncomfortable, there's nothing like comfort food to save the day. Like my $4.99 sourdough patty melt combo. You get 100% beef with grilled onions and 2 types of melty cheese on toasted sourdough, plus fries and a drink. And at $4.99, it's the perfect remedy for the most uncomfortable things in life. Like close talkers, accidental reply-alls, the dentist, flying, tight pants, clowns, and guys named Ronald. There's just something about that name. For comfort food at an even more comfortable price, try my $4.99 sourdough patty melt combo. Only at Jack in the Box.
We switched.
I switched to Chevy. I switched to Chevy.
We switched to Chevy.
I switched from a Ram to a Chevy.
See why people are switching to Chevy.
We love our Chevy. Why do we switch? Just look at it.
Switch into a new Chevy today. Current Active owners get 21% below MSRP on most Cruise models when financing with GM Financial. That's almost $5,800 on this Cruise.
I need somebody help, not just anybody help. You know I need someone.
Opening day from the Coliseum. Jose Mota, Mark Gomez are with you. Mike Myers already making his second start of the season. Keep in mind, the A's are 0-2 already because they lost 2 games over in Tokyo. A former A who was hoping to have an impact as he did last season. For the Angels, is newcomer and catcher Jonathan Lucroy.
Well, the thing with Jonathan Lucroy, we know how well he throws the baseball, how he handles a pitching staff. But for me, the difference, he wants to get back to being that dominant two-way type player that he's always been throughout his career. He always was a very good hitter, a doubles machine. We know he can throw out base runners, and he handles that staff very well. But I'm looking forward to see him swinging the bat this year.
You know, and we look forward to
Mark, to having the Angels at least have a little presence in the bottom of that lineup with Lucroy as a catcher from that position. Any offense he can get is a plus. But this guy understands the art of hitting.
Yeah, the thing is, he was always a machine throughout his whole career, especially when he came up with Milwaukee. So really, when you think he's made a little bit of an adjustment, talking with the staff and the hitting staff as far as getting a little bit quicker through the baseball. You see the difference as far as the legs going down and going forward, a little bit longer of a swing path, shorter through the baseball, able to bring those hips through the baseball much quicker. That's going to help him out. Hit those balls in the gap because he's always been a very good hitter, especially with runners in scoring position. He does not like to strike out, so that baseball will be put in play when Jonathan Lucroy is in the batter's box.
I'm glad you mentioned runners in scoring position. All his teammates last September will tell me we want Lucroy to bat when the game's on the line. Last year, 282 with runners in scoring position. The Angels also went out there and got a big bat to complement Albert Pujols. Eventually later, and soon hopefully also Shohei Ohtani. But boy, Mark, the display we saw in spring training from this big bopper is pretty impressive. His name is Justin Bour.
Jose, I remember the first time just walking up next to him. This man is a huge human being, and when he gets a hold of a baseball, like he did last year, look how far this baseball will travel off the bat of Justin Bour. 437, but I'll do a little bit more so. About 446, and then in spring training, I'll tell you what, that baseball, you and Terry were on the call in Goodyear, and not even the fans in the stands did they realize it. The players stood and watched, fans, same thing, out of the ballpark, going on its way over to where the planes are resting over there in Goodyear.
Well, watch out on that runway, too. But when we return here on Angels Live, boy, it's so good to talk baseball again after spring training. And we better break it all down, especially this game one. Previewing the season opener against the A's and Mike Fiers.
But how? Backed by AWS, StatCast AI uses the missile radar system. That wasn't just a strike, Chief. It was a strike with a spin rate of 2,335 RPMs, dropping knowledge like a baseball bounce. With the most functionality and experience, AWS is how companies like Major League Baseball build on.
The mine, all mine. The woot woot. The brain bomb. These are just some of the symptoms brought on by big savings during the High Spring Fever sales event. And with 10 vehicles named IIHS top safety picks, it's proving to be quite contagious. New one, the Hyundai Spring Fever sales event. The longer you look, the more there is to like.
Lease the 2019 Kona for just $199 a month, or get up to $1,250 in total savings. Only at your SoCal Hyundai dealer.
For small businesses, there's no quitting time, no 5 o'clock, because this isn't just a job, it's a passion, a calling.
Lights brighter.
So you deserve a network you can depend on, one with over 99.9% reliability and the fastest internet starting speeds available. Because at Spectrum Business, we work hard to keep small business running.
For all your car's Big O knows, there's always a Big O yes. Like getting great deals on the best tire brands. Right now, save up to $120 on select sets of tires with paid installation. Get $70 instant savings, plus up to a $50 mail-in rebate when using your credit card.
Game's changed where back then it was, your main goal is to get deep in the game. Now, sometimes you got to be okay in today's environment to go 5 shutout instead of, trying to go 7 innings. There's days where you might have your strikeout stuff and, it'll take zeros, and if you're punching out, then it might, you might be throwing more pitches, but at least, they're not putting in play. There's no chance to get hurt.
Trevor Cahill, outstanding numbers. Here is Albert Pujols, La Máquina. How many RBI away from 2000?
This is 19th opening day start for Albert Pujols. 18 RBI away from 2000 to go along with 600 home runs plus and 3,000 plus hits in his career. That's Hall of Fame, way Hall of Fame type numbers for Albert Pujols.
Gooby, and a new look. Albert Pujols for those fans.
Quicker, sleeker look.
Well, we talk about Trevor Cahill. Angels signed him to a 1-year deal. We saw him in spring training. He says he's a new guy, but he has some go-tos for him that perhaps are going to help him in the long run here for the Halo.
Yeah, Jose, my go-tos, there's a couple new pitches he's been working on in spring training. I think it really has a chance to make him even more effective because he's always going to have that sinker down. If it's that fastball upper part of the strike zone, changing that eye level. His changeup is a go-to pitch. It's going to be able to get a couple quick outs. His breaking ball, look at the tracer on this. How much is breaking ball? 12-6 on the curveball. But again, this other pitch for Trevor Cahill, that cutter, going to be a neutralizer both the right and to get inside a lefty, especially with that power sinker. He's going to be a ground ball machine, but he now has that capability again to strike out with a high fastball and his cutter.
You know, and one of the things that we talked about Angels Weekly and behind the scenes, let's have a feature with him someday with the hockey puck because the hockey puck has been influential with him. So for Cahill, it's about getting some run support, and certainly for the Angels, a new look lineup that perhaps might surprise you as we take a look here the way Brad Ausmus has structured it.
Well, especially when you look at Anderson Simmons hitting in that number 4 spot today. Justin Moore, number 3. Mike Trout. Cole Calhoun has had a tremendous spring. Keep that swing together. Remember what he did last year here on opening day. Albert Pujols behind him. Plenty of opportunities to drive in some runs to get closer to career number 2,000. Zach Kozar getting back. Tommy LaStella using the whole field, especially in this ballpark, is going to be good. Jonathan Lucrow, we said we want him up there with guys in scoring position on base. And Peter Borges, Peter is back in the uniform. Going to play some outstanding defense, but he has been really, really quick through the baseball with some power. He might be that guy to do something really special at that number 9 spot in the lineup today.
Well, let's talk about the A's. One of the most underrated managers in baseball, and Bob Melvin, quietly does his job. Took his team to the playoffs last year, 97-65 record. Eventually lost, but what they do and the way they structure things, this year, a little challenge. They started in Japan over in Tokyo, went 0-2, but there's a lot of planning and being able to master things for things like this to happen eventually. Watching Ichiro retire.
What a special moment that was over there in Japan for Ichiro, the ovation, what he was able to do, go out there and play once again. You know, Seattle played pretty well against Oakland in that series, but Bob Melvin really has his team playing very well.
El Nino makes his way to
there
he is. That's the only reminder. Well, the one thing they didn't stop for the A's is they slugged their way in that series, even though they lost.
Chris Davis is an absolute machine. Cal State Boulder guy, you know that well, Jose. Home run, 41 inning, first pitch home runs for him since 2015 for Chris Davis. He's got the power. I want to show my age. Bob Melvin was my battery mate in Kansas City. He's my catcher, so he's been around a while, as I have been.
Well, one thing for the A's, they went out again and built a nice bullpen. Fernando Rodney and company, Blake Treinen, one of the guys that nobody talks about, but perhaps the way they're structured, it's about the starters being able to give them at least five plus innings and give it to some guys out there on the mound of the bullpen. But the way for the A's and the way they have structured those lineups, remember, big loss for them in Japan too was one guy that plays first base, and Matt Olson.
Matt Olson, a good power himself on that left side of the box, but they still have some serious power. Matt Chapman's had a fantastic career start. Gold Glove winner. Stephen Piscotty was outstanding last season. We mentioned Chris Davis. Jurickson Profar coming over from Texas. Finally, he's got a chance to swing the bat. Chad Pinder, sneaky power he's got in there. Marcus Semien is a very good player. He's got even better in that shortstop position with good power, and Josh Begley's going to be batting number 9. This lineup can for power, get ahead of the count, and make them expand the strike zone.
Yeah, expand a little bit on Fires, who took the loss in Tokyo. He went 3 innings, allowed 4 hits, 5 earned runs, 58 pitches. He'll be facing Trevor Cahill, who we know has something to prove. And there's not always that relationship with the ballpark, the comfort level, and his ERA here pitching at home last year.
Yeah, when you think about it, what he's done in his career in day games here in this ballpark, 14-10 in the ERA. Low 3, so he knows exactly how to be able to perform in this yard, knows exactly the difference between warming up in the bullpen and he's compared to the game mound, so that's a huge advantage for Trevor Cahill. I expect him to get a lot of ground ball outs, but also ride that high fastball for a swing and miss.
Well, we talk about this often. Key for the Angels early in the season to be able to at least say, we got off to a decent start, and we're not thinking about what happened in April as we're playing September baseball.
You know, we can talk pitching all we want. I still think when it comes down to it, this team swings the bat the way we think they're going to swing the bat. This team is going to be very successful. Very important. A lot of games within the division early again here in the month of March and into April. Catch the baseball, but above all, score a lot of runs and have some fun.
One better example of the guy and the team across the other dugout. They lost every single starter last year in the rotation, but they slugged their way to the playoffs, and they caught the baseball. So, yes, things can turn around very quickly, especially a team like Oakland, that what we talked about was how poorly they defensively.
Yeah, I mean, they changed that all around, especially the corner infielders with Chapman and Olsen. Catch the ball very well. Laureano out in the outfield, very special in center field. They're swinging the bat. That's what you look for the Angels this season. Crushing the baseball, putting pressure on the opponent, pitching staff. If you do that, postseason is in the horizon.
Mark, those days we never forget. In the field, opening day, Angels begin their 59th season. When we come back, it's all about opening day ceremonies, the pageantry, the colors, and everything with superstars all over the board.
He's right.
Right, on Patriots, that's right.
Schedule seems reasonable.
Everything all right?
Alex left for cello in my car. Hello?
We're getting kicked out of the room. We're gonna have to call you back.
We're back.
7-passenger Infiniti QX60.
We don't have any issues with the planning committee.
Luxury should be lived as long as you live.
Lease the Infiniti QX60 for $399 a month, or finance at 2.4% APR for 60 months. Visit your local Infiniti retailer.
Hi, I heard you could help me with the shed.
Sure, we can actually design a Tough Shed building right here. So how are you planning on using it?
Storage.
Okay, were you looking for a particular type of shed or maybe a garage?
I think a barn-style shed with a loft.
How about skylight?
Yeah, a good studio needs a lot of natural light.
Decorative door trim, flower boxes?
2 words. Man cave.
Oh, right. Got it.
There's a Tough Shed building for everyone. Configure yours at homedepot.com/toughshed.
Yeah, I've seen a lot out here in the West. But a juicy charbroiled burger with a patty made from plants? Only the folks at Carl's Jr. can pull out something that bold. All the legendary flavor, none of the meat. When the wagon of change comes, you ride along with it. The new Beyond Famous Star with cheese, only at Carl's Jr., where the food is the star.
Here's your Buick, sir.
Actually, that's my Buick.
Your Buick doesn't have a roof rack. This is my Buick. How are we gonna fit in your mom's Buick?
Easy.
I like that new Buick.
Me too.
I was actually talking about that Buick.
I knew that.
Did you?
Buick's fresh new lineup is full of surprises. It's March Madness. Get a sweet 16% below MSRP on most of these Buick models. Or current eligible non-GM owners get over $6,100 on this Encore.
Even if no one in your home smokes, secondhand smoke can be closer than you think. Secondhand smoke from a neighbor's apartment can enter your home through air vents, through light fixtures, and even through cracks in the walls and the floors. Secondhand smoke is toxic, especially to children. Protect your family. Visit tobaccofreeca.com.
3 new Nissans, 2 powerful Titans, 1 award-winning lineup. Save big on all of it at Nissan now. No brand received more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards for cars and trucks than Nissan. Save big on road with Safety Shield 360. In and experience why more people are loving Nissan now.
Get a low $239 per month lease on road, or get 0% financing for up to 60 months on 14 models.
Get to Nissan now.
Always special opening day 2019 for the Angels here, visiting a 4-game series against the A's. Angels overall in their history, 30-28 record in openers as they send former A Trevor Cahill to the mound against Mike Fiers. So for the Angels, it begins in the West. They'll continue to Seattle. The players waiting eagerly for the play ball call, and certainly on a beautiful day, it looks like it's all going to be ready for the Angels to go out there and get it done. For now, let's toss it over to PA announcer Dick Callahan for introductions. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2019 Los Angeles Angels staff, coaches, and reserves. And now the starters for the Angels, as announced by manager Brad Ausmus. Leading off for the Angels, number 56, right fielder Cole Calhoun. Batting in the second position, the center fielder, number 27, Mike Trout. Batting in the third position, the first baseman, number 41, Justin Bohr. Batting fourth, the shortstop, number 2, Andrelton Simmons. Batting in the fifth position, the designated hitter, number 5, Albert Pujols. Batting in the sixth position, the third baseman, number 7, Zach Cozart. Batting seventh, playing second base, number 9, Tommy La Stella. Batting eighth and catching, number 20, Jonathan Lucroy. And batting ninth, left fielder, number 25, Peter Borges. And pitching this afternoon for Los Angeles, number 53, Trevor Cahill. And now, please welcome your 2019 Oakland Athletics. Equipment manager, Steve Vucinich. Umpire and clubhouse assistant, Matt Weiss. The assistant equipment manager, Brian Davis. Clubhouse assistant, Michael Clavin. The visiting clubhouse manager, Mike Alblum. And athletic trainer, Nick Paparesta. Assistant athletic trainers, Ryan Shulman and Jeff Collins. Major League Massage Therapist, Ozzy Lyle. The Strength and Conditioning Coach, Josh Puffy. The Assistant Strength and Conditioning Coach, Karen Brennan. And in the bullpen, Jeremy Downey and Phil Pohl. coaching staff. In the bullpen, Marcus Jensen. The hitting coach, Darren Bush. First base coach, Al Pedrique. The bench coach, Ryan Christensen. Assistant hitting coach, Mike Aldretti. Pitching coach, Scott Emerson. And the third base coach, Matt Williams. And now to the A's reserve, number 62, Lou Trevino. Number 57, J.B. Wendelken. Number 56, Fernando Rodney. Number 55, Sean Benair. Number 52, Ryan Buckner. Joaquin Soria. Number 47, Frankie Montas. Number 40, Chris Bassett. Number 39, Blake Ryan. Number 36, Gismero Petit. Number 35, Alan Brooks. Number 32, Daniel Gossett. Number 30, Brett Anderson. Number 28, Matt Olson. Number 21, Marco Estrada. Number 20, Marcana. Number 16, Liam Hendricks. In the bullpen, number 19, Josh Begley. Number 12, Henry Morales. Number 3, Nick Hundley. Leading off and playing left field, number 8, Robbie Grossman. the second position, third baseman, number 26, Matt Chapman. Batting third, right fielder, number 25, Steven Piscotty. Batting in the fourth position, the designated hitter, number 2, Chris Davis. Batting in the fifth position, the first baseman, number 23, Jason Rofar. Batting in the sixth position, the second baseman, number 18, Chad Sanders. Batting seventh, number 10, Marcus Semien. Batting in the eighth position, the center fielder, number 22, Ramon Laureano. And catching, number 19, John Begley. Today's starting pitcher, number 50, Mike Myers, in the bullpen. Let's hear it one more time, fans, for your 2019 Oakland Athletics. The Oakland A's lost several members of its family this offseason. These 7 employees came to the Coliseum every game with a smile and enthusiasm that will be sorely missed. Please join us in celebrating the lives of ticket taker Ron Gasper, usher and security guard John Goodman, the giveaway staff Doug Greeny, ticket seller Deanna Love, usher Rod Rentschler, usher Georgia Wilson, and technician Bill Gentry. Last month, Major League Baseball also lost a legend. Frank Robinson rewrote history as both a player and a manager. He went to high school right here in Oakland at McClymonds High. The Hall of Famer was the 1956 Rookie of the Year, a 2-time MVP, and a 12-time All-Star, hitting 586 home runs during his career. He became the first African-American manager when he accepted the role as Cleveland skipper in 1975 and won the AL Manager of the Year in 1989. Please join us in celebrating the lives of these beloved members of the Oakland family. Rather than a moment of silence, let's offer them the sound they love to hear, the cheer from the crowd. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting today's colors are members of the Oakland Police Department. Also, fans, A's Access members will be anchoring the on-field flag. Thank you to OPD and to our A's Access member family. Fans, please rise for our national anthem, direct from SHN Orpheum Theater, from the cast of Hamilton, the Schuyler sisters, Julia Harriman and Sabrina Sloan.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose
brought stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Adler sisters, winner of an Pendleton.